to Carryover City, Gino Bacola, the Fearsome Fivesome. This is the first time we've all been seen together in the same room in our entire lives. What's happening, Gino?
I mean, when you think of like some of the all-time great fives, you're thinking what, like Jackson 5, the Spice Girls, the Fab 5, Spice Girls. For me, I'm going to go with the New Kids on the Block. I think that's who we might be. So, yeah, didn't I blow your mind this time? We got the New Kids getting ready to get you all set up for the Friday Pick 6 carryover. We got about $43,000 carried over, and it's just a fun time in the world of horse racing right now because we're in the middle of the Triple Crown. We're all buzzing a little bit. We just had the Kentucky Derby last weekend. We got the Preakness coming up next weekend, and then the Belmont in a few weeks. So we need to make some money this weekend. We need to make some money on Friday. And I think we've done this is probably 6 or 7 of these shows that we've done since the start of the year. So we've had a lot of these Friday carryovers to start the week. I love sitting here hanging out with all of you, and it's the first time we're all together. So hopefully we can lead the folks to some winners.
And Seminar Skip, he looks like he's been in the Bahamas for a week or so. Nice. You're looking tan there, buddy. What's going on?
Yeah, I just got back from the beach. It was a great, beautiful day down there. And what a great weekend of racing last weekend. Sunday, we had the big carryover. Saturday, Kentucky Derby from last to first, Cherie DeVoe. It was a great day. Michael McCarthy, our good buddy, he had 3 winners, stakes winners on the day, 1 at Santa Anita and 2 back at Churchill. So great day of racing, great weekend. And I can't wait to get this weekend going. But before that, we got to hit this Pick 6.
That's right. George O looks like he's being questioned in the back of a police station. So what were you charged with? And welcome in, Georgie.
It's great to be here. I'm a lot of times these Pick 6s, I always think, boy, this is a hard one, and there could be a double carryover. I think this Pick 6 today, I'm going to hit it. I got 4 singles, and it's going to cost me $12, and it's going to pay $47.
Wow. Well, that's confidence there, Sure Shot. What are your thoughts, my friend?
It's funny. Part of me echoes George's sentiments there. I feel like you can have a pretty good chance maybe spending $24 or so and hitting this thing, but you can also spend $240 and not even catch a winner because it's one of those sequences where, yes, the favorites are eminently logical, but to me, they're not favorites you bet because you like them. You bet them because they're the lesser of all evils, right? They have the least negative qualities, in my opinion. Now, I could be proven wrong, but so on the one hand, it seems formful, but every time I think something seems formful, that's when the racing gods just sit back and laugh and watch you throw your money away. So I'm excited to tackle this. I think it's a good opportunity to kick off the race week.
All right. Before we get started, Georgie, I'm going to have you do this at the beginning and at the end because we've got the Folds of Honor poker tournament, one of the best days of the year coming up. So if you want to give a little plug at the beginning, and then we'll do it again at the end for those who jump in. I can't wait, my friend.
Yeah, we didn't have it last year, and boy, it was that was terrible because I love this event. The jockeys love this event. Some trainers come out. It's really a great time. There's like a little thing there. We're going to be giving away, not giving away. There's T-shirts available you can buy, and 100% of the proceeds go to Folds of Honor. It's a great organization that provides scholarships to the families of our fallen heroes. And it was every year it's been $300 to buy in. This year we lowered it to $150, so a lot more people can play. Hopefully that'll make a difference. You can go to santanita.com/events and get your tickets. But we definitely want to see a lot of people out here on May 25th, Memorial Day, right after the races. It's going to be a fantastic time, and I hope you guys will join.
Skippy and I always play as well every year, so we can't wait for that. It's a great time, and people have some fun, some drinks, and play a little poker, so it's awesome. But all right, let's get back to the task at hand. Gino Bacola, let's start with you tomorrow. 8 race cards starting at 1 o'clock, so that means Pick 6 is race 3 at the beginning. We're going 5.5 furlongs, 10 dime claimers, non-3 lifetime. What are your thoughts in leg 1?
Yeah, if you don't like me, last week was good for you because I wasn't on the shows. I was I was traveling, so you didn't get a chance to hear from me. But I'm going to be joining Tom Quigley tomorrow, and then I'm going to be on this show, and then we'll be back tomorrow after the races. So you'll get plenty of me right back this weekend if you missed any of me last weekend. And I think we're going to start out with the number 3, Neezer Dalton, who I think is a reference to A League of Their Own. this is a horse who, just looking at the entire field, the best race that she's ever run, I think, is the best that anyone in here has ever run. The concern is that best race that she's ever run was back in like July of 2024. So we have to go a ways back. But just looking at her on paper and watching the race, she didn't have that bad a start. She was only about 2 lengths off, but she was in between, and she made it all the way up to second before she sort of got a little bit tired. It felt like it was the perfect first start back off a long layoff for a horse like that. I think she's going to build some fitness. I think is a better spot for her. I feel like Neeser Dalton is just the horse to beat, honestly, in that spot. Because while I do agree that Headstrong Ways is going to take some money, I mean, this is a horse who's coming off of a really disappointing turf effort. The races on the dirt were solid. Like the one at the level 2 starts back was fine, but we're not talking about a horse who's overwhelming on speed figures or like stands out is way faster than the rest of this group by any way, shape, or form. I like the 3 to start with. I think the 1 would be the second horse, but this is the type of race where I might even try to get aggressive if I can, because I think a lot of people will maybe go 1, 3, 6, 7, maybe use combinations of those 4. I'm going to play some tickets where I use a 3 and even just 1 and 3.
All right, so 3 or 1, 3 for him. And the more surprising that we have all 5 of us together is that Gino didn't know exactly what Neeser Dalton meant, because he always has every obscure reference in America. So are you okay, Gino? Everything all right?
I said a league of their own, right?
Oh, you said possible. Yeah. Oh, okay.
At least Chappie's not listening to me. The first thing I said was, this is a reference to a league of their own, right? I think
it's a reference.
I know. I don't want to act so much like I know every single thing. Sometimes I got to act like
Stop crying. Stop crying. Right? There's no crying in horse racing.
He's dumbing down his content for us.
I was going to say. I don't want to stand up and preach down like I'm the professor talking down. But you're right.
Know it all in the group. I just figured you knew it all, so I didn't. All right, Skipper, back from the sun. What's going on?
You know what? Jaramillo is going to have a big say in this pick 6 because he's on all the favorites. He's on some short price favorites. He's going to have a big say in this pick 6. Leg 3 or the leg 1, race 3. I'll probably go 3 deep. I'm going to use the 1 Headstrong Ways. That race 2 back at Santa Anita was really good for the level. I liked it. They tried it on the turf. It was outclassed. It's bred for the turf, but it's 0 for 5 on the grass. So going back to the dirt, I think will be good for this horse. I'm going to use the 3 Neeser Dalton. Had to have needed that last race coming off that long break. Drops down in class. Miati's having a good meet. And then the other one I'm going to use is Aloha Dream in the 6. Look at the past performances. Back when it broke its mane at Del Mar, it broke from the 8 hole. Then it drew coming down the hill or going the flat on Santa Anita's turf course, drew post 2. The next race at Santa Anita drew post 2. The last 2 races drew post 1. This horse finally gets back outside. I have to use it. Victor Espinosa's, he thinks high of it to jump aboard. So I'm going to go 1, 3, and 6, and maybe more 3, 6 on my ticket.
All right. So finally gets off the dreaded rail. Georgie has 4 singles. Is this one of them, Georgie?
I think this is like one of the only races that you might get a price. Maybe. I'm going to use more than half the field. I'm going to leave off 2 horses. I like the 1, the 3, as you guys mentioned, the 6 as well. I think Toulouse-Lautrec can get loose on the lead, and every now and then throws in a good race. And I'm throwing in Lena Lingard. Lena Lingard got some decent numbers for a really Los Al horse, and the fact that he's here. The last time she ran against Headstrong Ways, she was right there against Headstrong Ways. So certainly I could single Headstrong Ways in 1 ticket and then use like 5 of the 7 in another ticket.
All right, so 5 deep, at least got a price in there. Sure shot. What are your thoughts on leg 1?
Yeah, I see it very similar to Gino. I think Neeser Dalton is the one to beat. I might have changed that opinion if the 1 Headstrong Ways was off the rail. At 5.5, Haramio is going to have to gun hard. This horse isn't fast enough to keep up with the two outside horses. I'm not sure what kind of trip this horse is going to get from inside. I will use Headstrong Ways as a B, but look, Neeser Dalton has races from way back in the day that those last two races before the layoff would dominate this field. Comes up a long layoff. Miati runs the horse. Gino made all the points about a little bit of a trouble trip, but look, Miati's not stupid. He knows what he has. He knows what the horse is worth. He's going to drop her to where she can win, second off the bench, puts up go-to guy Fresu, going to get the perfect stalking trip. Neeser Dalton single, one Headstrong Ways on a small backup ticket.
All right, so possible single, and then I don't know if we have a mixture between a lightsaber and a lawnmower there. Or what?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I thought that was just going on in my own head because that's kind of what things are like for me a lot of the time. So once I saw Chappie smiling, then I was like, at least Chappie can hear it too. So it's not just me. It's not just me.
I thought you guys were playing me off already. I was like, I didn't get to thank my agent.
I thought I was going to start going like Han Solo or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say you know what? We've only got room for a 4-man band. Someone's got to go, right? Someone's got to go.
If it's crazy noise like that, you know where it's coming from. Just look in your lower right-hand corner, whether it's a blower at Santa Anita, whether it's a lawnmower outside, it never fails. Or Zenyatta howling in the backyard. So you might hear a lot of noises today. It's not me. It's everything that's going around my crazy day, the way that it's been so far.
Well, Skip, you got the saber on you anyway, so let's start with you for race 4. 32-dime beaten claimers going a mile here on the turf. What are your thoughts?
Okay, here's one of the ones that I think Jaramillo is beatable. Morning line 8-5, stretching out. I know it stumbled badly last time. They're putting it back on the grass. We love Dougie Fresh, great trainer, great time, but sometimes the trainers go hot and cold. We saw it with Andy Mathis last meet. Then he started this meet, this guns a-blazing. When they're cold, 2 for 42, I'll use, but I can't bet with confidence. So I'm going to use the 180s. I know this horse comes back pretty quick. Third race off the cycle, coming back, which is often the horse's best. Draws the rail, has a race on the grass, has a race going the distance, dropping down. I'm going to use the 1. I'm going to use the 2 just defensively. I don't like the 2, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to also use the 3, Infinity Dream. This horse for Richard Baltus. If they go fast up front, which it looks like there could be some speed. The 1 could go, the 2 could go, the 4 is going to go stretching out. So the pace could be lively. The 3 is going to be on my ticket. Then the last one I'm going to use is the 5, Anywhere the Wind Blows. This horse is dropping down. It's raced twice in the country. Hasn't run real good. The first time it didn't run too bad. It only got beat a length and a quarter. Bears Board beat it that day, but it was off slow, it angled. Last time, I don't know what happened. It didn't really run a step, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and 5. I'm going to go skinny late. So I'll be alive.
Just as he was talking about that horse, Chappie, because that's the horse who I like a little bit, the 5, who he was mentioning, and I wanted to kind of hit on the trips he was talking about. This horse is raced twice in the U.S. The first time actually had like a slow start, was last of 6 inside, then angled out at the top of the lane and was closing really well. And a horse inside of her like drifted out, and it really impacted. She kind of had to run right up on this horse's heels because that horse came out. She may have been able to finish second that day. I don't know if she would have won, but she might have been able to finish in front of Bears Broad. Then last time out, got hooked 4 wide going into the turn. The 3-5 lone speed horse got the lead and just cruised. And this horse had absolutely no shot in that race. So I went back to and watched the race at Wolverhampton. That was a really good race. The horse was in a field of 12. She sat a nice trip. She was sitting like third. She was a little green when she took the lead, but there's some ability there. She was actually second versus the boys back in the UK even prior to that. So this horse is kind of sneaky. She's going to go third start now in the US. I think there's a chance that the 1, 2, 4, and 6 all may want to go. And she's the one that really sits back and gets the comfortable off the pace trip. So he was kind of hinting at those races. I think they're a little better than they might look on paper. I think she gets the trip. I think she's a great price in here. Ron Charles pops with sneaky horses like this too. He owns this one. Like there'll be horses just like this that have a little bit of form from overseas. They can have sneaky races. Used to see them up at Golden Gate a lot of the time. The 5, Anyway the Wind Blows, is another one that like I'm going to try to play one ticket where I single this horse, because a lot of people are going to go 2 or 3 deep. This would be an awesome way for me to get some separation in a race like this.
All right, so Gino, big push on Anyway the Wind Blows. Georgie, you're kind of in the dark, as Billy Squire once sang, and I believe that was in the 80s. So are you all over the 1 as a hunch play, Georgie? Or
I love the 80s, but I told you my ticket's going to cost me peanuts. Because I got four singles.
Da-dunch.
And this is one of the singles. I just can't see how the 5's going to lose this race. I just can't see it. Anywhere the wind blows. Galileo Scaramouche. I'm using this one, as a single, because the 1 has to go to the lead. The 2 has to go to the lead. The 3 likes to lead. The 4 definitely going to the lead. The 6 going to the lead. It's only 1 closer in the entire race. Pace makes the race. He comes in tied for the, almost for the best last race thoroughgraph number. And that last race against Eternal Rain and Rehearsal, those are really good runners. And the only close in the race, he was off slow the day that Beard's Board beat him. That was her first race in the country as well. She beat a field of 12 coming from up. It's a massive single for me, because the one who's going to benefit the most by a speed duel, and I'm sure there's going to be a speed duel, is going to be number 5. I'm singling Anyway the Wind Blows for sure.
All right. Well, 2 big pushes. Georgie, favorite horse of the year, Anyway the Wind Blows. Sure shot. Your thoughts?
You guys said it all. I'm all about the 5 as well in here. Woo. The 1's got to go. The 2's going to go. I don't really rate the 3 all that much. With 16-1 against $25,000 beaten claimers last time. These are 32. That horse is going to take money. Pace makes the race. The race sets up perfectly for this horse. And to Gino's point, back when there used to be the Golden Hour, I would do the Golden Hour pick 4, 2 races from Golden Gate, 2 races from Santa. So for many years, I was really locked in on the Golden Gate circuit, and Gino hit the nail on the head. Manny Badilla, Ron Charles, they had made a meal out of horses like this for years. Bring the horses over, get a couple of starts off the Europe layoff, and then put the horse where the horse can really win. Also note that last race was also the first time this horse was facing older company, right? She was facing tougher, older horses. Yes, she's facing a couple of older horses today, but these are much weaker animals than she saw last time. She, on paper, from a pace standpoint, she's the most likely winner, in my opinion. I will give a look to the number 6, Motet, only because while I know this horse likes to be forwardly placed, I don't think this horse necessarily needs the lead to win if the inside horses start to duke it out. You have to go back a long way, but if you go back to this horse's maiden breaker, granted it was a main turf course sprint, this horse closed. So if Frezu can get this horse to relax, have 80s and the Jaramillo horse go, I think this horse sits the perfect trip and will get first run over the 5 Anyway the Wind Blows. Most of my action through the 5, backup tickets with the 6, and let's hope we're right about the 5. But that might mean the horse is 4-5.
And what what Frank was talking about, Chappie, that there's 6 total wins in this race, right, from the entire field. 3 of them, 80s, Bears Board, Mia Forza, on the lead. Never passed a horse before. Infinity Dream sat second, kind of fell into it. Other than that race, he hasn't really passed horses very much in his career either, in her career either. And then we have the outside 2. Now, Motet did it sprinting, but she came from her only win. She actually did come from 9th of 10. The only horse who's sat off the pace going long is the 5, if you just go through all of their races and how they've won those races.
All right, well, big push, obviously. The weight is on the back of the 5, that's for sure. Anyway, the Wind Blows. So now Georgie, we'll start with you. Race 5, 4.5 furlongs, maiden special weights. We're going to the 2-year-olds here. And hopefully some people did their homework on First TV. Georgie, what are your thoughts?
I haven't done homework since like 3rd grade. So I'm not good at homework. I didn't see one of these workouts. I didn't see one of them. But I usually wait for like the Harrington report, and whatever he said, he knows what he's looking at. They all look fantastic to me when I look workouts. They're like, man, they're all going fast. And the 2 and the 3 obviously stick out. The 3 they paid $170,000 for. That's the best in the field. A clocker I get has him as the best bet of the day. Has her as the best bet of the day. But the 2 is hard to ignore. That 47 flat on May 1st. And a lot of these 2-year-olds, it's pretty formful. Very few 50-1 shots win these races. So, yeah, I'm going to hope to look to see. Right now, I'm just using the 2 and the 3. But if I get Andy Harrington liking 1 or 2 other fillies, I might throw them in. But I mean, right now, just again, I got 3 singles coming up. So I'm using 2 here, maybe more.
All right, 2, 3 there. Sure Shot, what are your thoughts here on all the first-time starters?
I'm with George. Although I was very good at homework throughout my academic career, I could do all the homework in the world for this race. And to George's point, if I watch a workout, they're just like horses running around a track to me. I don't know anything unless maybe a really good horse is against a really bad horse and they're working in company. I leave this to the experts, but just based on simple. The most simplest thing of them all, you've got a Life is Good, cost $170,000 against, no offense to the Calbreds in here, but I mean, Life is Good was a pretty good racehorse. So based on that, obviously I think that horse is super live. Same thing with Sentient Soon. Catch Caps as well with first time starter.
Who is that? Georgie? Who is that though? Is that?
I don't know.
Is that Skippy? Skippy, can you mute your thing? Because
mute for a second. See if it's you.
If you didn't want me on the show, you could have just said.
Because it was so funny. Every time Frank spoke,
I'm a big boy. I could take it.
Every time Frank said something, it was going louder over his voice.
That's why I thought it was Frank, because every time he talks.
Right.
Oh, no, you couldn't hear anything.
Well, anyway, Life is Good. The 3 Buena Vida for sure. Also the 2, the Bondi horse. And then let me just throw one other horse out there if you want to consider. Number 7, Lahar. These are low sal connections, so winning at 4.5 furlongs is, right up their alley. And then, if you just do some basic, formulator pedigree research, this sire, 22% debut winners right here. So I would consider that horse, but I'm going to rely on other people's information for this. I know Skip watches the works, and to George's point, there's a lot of good clocker reports out there. Andy Harrington's being one of the more prominent ones, and the Racing Form has good clocker info as well. So right now, I'm thinking about actually singling the 3 based on that Life is Good $170,000 purchase, but I am open to suggestions.
Okay, 3 or 2, 3, 7 for Sure Shot. We still haven't figured out who has this lightsaber. Gino, what are your thoughts here in race 5?
I like the 5 a little bit here. She makes me mad. So the 5 and the 1, both of the Miotti horses have been working together. You can watch those workouts on First.tv. The 5 was much better than Stay Bossy. The 5 was working inside. They both worked from the gate, and She Makes Me Mad was going much, much better late. Miotti's fine with first-time starters. Last 5 years, 11%. I think very capable, barn first time out of the box. I prefer the 5, and you don't draw the rail either for this, 2-year-old first-time starter. What's nice, her Dam, she won her debut. She was 6 for 23 overall. She had wins from 4.5 furlongs all the way to a mile. So the Dam won first time out of the box at 4.5 furlongs, positive, and Miotti is certainly capable. And this one showed a little bit of something in the morning. Both the 2 and the 3 looked solid. Like, they have no real knocks. Both barns are capable. Like, pedigree stuff, fine. The Dam was an 8-time winner for Sentient Soon. I think the barn's been like 11% with firsters last 5 years. A couple siblings, 2 winners, 1 won the debut. So you get some of that precocity there. The April 10th and April 24th works were both on First TV for Sentiment Soon, and they were pretty good. Both of them. One of them was in a field of 3, full of run and never really let loose, going strong late. Another one opened up 3 lengths on the rival pretty quickly. The 3 super logical, but the 5 was kind of the more fun one that I could actually see of the works that I think could be a little bit of a price. So those 2, including the 5 for me.
All right, 5, 2, 3 for Gino. Skipperoonie.
I'm going to go 5 deep in here. Top plays the 3. Life is Good. Frank said it. They paid $170. This is Life is Good's first crop, right? To make it to the track. I think it is. Gino, Frank, you guys would know that. So we'll see. And when I was back in Kentucky, actually a year ago, Life is Good was one of the stallions that I saw that they brought out, and he looked great, So we'll see. I'm real curious to see how his first crop does. But I'm going to use the 2, Sentiment Soon. I'm going to use the 3, Buena Vida. I'm going to use the 5. Gino mentioned that. The 2 other ones, or one of the ones that I mentioned that nobody did, is the 6, Stay My Girl. We know how good Stay Thirsty is as a win early sire, Calbred sire. Edwin Alvarez, his stats aren't real good, but he could win races and he could win early. I know it says only 6%, but he he beat us in Vegas 2 years ago with the horse, and that was would have been a life-changing score for all of us in a group ticket. It would have. I don't know if we would have survived the Vegas trip, but I tell you what, we would have had a hell of a time the next 3 days. I probably would have been dead after that.
He beat us in the short term, but he saved our lives, Skip.
There you go. So I'm going to use that horse. I like the breeding, and look at it. It hasn't missed a workout in the workout pattern. You go back to its first work on the page, May 14th, 12-1. That's quick, Then they kind of, another 2 furlongs. It was kind of slow, but I kind of like what I see there. He's got 2 in the race. He puts Tyler Bays on one, and he puts Orantes on the other. And he's got a good win percentage with Orantes. So I'm going to put the 6. And then Frank mentioned the 7 also. These Los Al connections. Horses training good and quick at Los Al. I'm going to use that. So I'm going to go 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. And I'm like Giorgio. I got 3 singles coming up. So.
Oh.
I like it. All right, 3 singles coming up.
And Chappie, when he was talking about the Life is Good horses, there's been 2 so far. There have been 3 horses for Life is Good. Win first time out. One of them is 2 for 2, and the other one finished 5th. So far they're 3 for 4 combined. 2 different horses, and winning right out of the box. So if you're just kind of wanting to pay attention to some of those Life is Good horses, they've had a really good start.
See, that's why we have Gino come along, Frank. He gives us stuff like that and the other name, whatever the hell it was that he acted like he didn't know, but he has good information once in a while.
Skippy can call for it. I can go get it real quick for you. There we go. Perfect.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Life is Good was an awesome horse. I mean, not surprised that he's going to be it's still early to tell now, but so far, so good in the stallion department as well.
All right, Frankie, right back to you. Race 6. Mile on the turf, allowance, optional claimer, Calbreds here. What are your thoughts?
Look, I mean, you never like to take a short price on a horse who has never been on turf before and is trying something new for the very first time. But try as I might, I just couldn't get around the class angle on number 5, Start the Ride. We've talked about this horse on the show. I think it was the Cal Cup Derby. That first race was declared a non-starter, ran so good, but it was hard to pay attention to because, was declared a non-starter and then comes off a layoff and runs right away in a mile and a 16th on Cal Cup Day and wins the Cal Cup Derby. Wins it easily. It wasn't even an issue. I think you have to toss those last 2 races, obviously, against much tougher. I mean, there's not a lot of turf breeding that I could see from the formulator research that I did. But, Blacker made all the right moves during the classic meet. I think if he thinks this horse can turf, and Jaramillo agrees, then who am I to argue? Getting Lasix for the first time, not the kind of favorite I'd like to, hitch my wagon to, but I just didn't see too many alternatives in here, from a class standpoint. So if I can afford it, single the A, and then if I'm my backup ticket, I would probably use the 2, the 3, and I think that's it. Just the 2 and the 3. But again, like I said earlier, these aren't favorites that like you really want to plant a flag with. To me, they're favorites that I'm kind of using by default, just because I can't find anything better, for lack of a better word. So
yeah,
start
like
the ride.
you said, singling one first time doing something, but obviously has faced some monsters in the meantime. Gino, what are your thoughts on that? And
it is funny
as the lightsaber, by the way.
It is funny when you go through the horses that he's faced the last 3 races, where it's like beat Pavlovian, who is in the Kentucky Derby,
Right.
finished behind Potente, Robusta, so happy, Potente, all in the Kentucky Derby. Every one of those horses all ran last weekend in the Derby. This is a little bit different. Who's going to be lining up in the starting gate next to him on Saturday? But as Frank was mentioning, like there's not really anything like major directly there for turf. And it's with this horse, we know he doesn't have a lot of early speed. He's a bit of a scary horse to have in a small field like this, because on paper, are there 2 speed horses that want to go, right? The 2 Euchre and the 4 Southern Melody. They actually raced against each other on the dirt 2 starts back in a very similar situation. They basically went merry-go-round all the way around the racetrack, and Southern Melody actually won that race. So I was kind of surprised, I guess maybe just because of the turf, but Southern Melody beat Euchre right on the square and is a much bigger price on the morning line. That surprised me a little bit. I'm going to use the 1. The 1 could be the biggest price in the field by far. And this horse actually ran pretty well last time out. I'm kind of playing this race like Start the Ride is in a different league of everybody else. And if you want a single Start the Ride, that's fine. If not, I'm looking at the other 4 horses like they're all kind of similar. This horse actually has races going long on the grass. Even the last one against Open Company, those top 3 horses there, that was the D'Amato horse. That was first-time D'Amato. The runner-up, Gallatin. That was the horse who faced better to start and then dropped in class. Remember the connection said they don't really know if he has very much heart, something like that. But he is really quick. And Prime Artist, like all 3 of those horses, they're not bad. They're better than this level of horses, off-field, Calbred, going a mile on the turf. I think the 1's just going to run well in this race. That's the horse who I want to have on my ticket some way, shape, or form. I think I like the 4 Southern Melody, best of the speed horses. I'll probably be 1, 4, and 5, but I definitely wanted to get the 1 into the mix there somewhere.
All right, 1, 4, 5 for Gino. Push there on the 1, who should be the longest shot on the board. Skipper?
I'm singling the 5. I don't know about the turf breeding either, but I tell you what, first time out, that race was unbelievable when it was declared a non-starter. And I was so lazy when it came back and ran again, because if I would have watched the replay, there's no doubt in my mind I would have used it, and I probably would have only gone like 2 deep. That was a giant race. It basically stayed in the gate. It only got beat 6 lengths. That was a giant race. It came back in the Cal Cup Derby back in January, the race that I missed it, of course. It beat Sammy Davis, who probably doesn't want to go that far. Pavlovian, went and lost a nose in the Louisiana Derby, ran in the Kentucky Derby. Then it goes against Open Company. It gets beat 10 and 11 lengths to Potente, So Happy. I just think this is the best horse in the race. First time Lasix. I know what Gino's saying about the 1, and maybe if you come back, the pick 6 is already probably too much for me, but that's why I singled the last 3 legs. I'll come back maybe on a pick 5 and use the 1, because if I was going to try to beat the 5, it would be with the 1. I know it's coming back quick. I don't need to talk about it much more because Gino mentioned everything, but trouble both the last 2 starts. But I think Start the Ride is too good in the class of the race, and I don't think the turf's going to bother it. So I'm singling the 5.
And George is single of the 5. So we move on to race. No,
Hey,
go ahead.
wait a second. I can be single as somebody else.
Go ahead, George.
Did you ever see, Gino, you ever see that movie, A Quiet Place?
No, trust me. I have no idea anything quiet. Nothing quiet.
Has anybody seen that movie they're called Quiet Place?
Never heard of it.
No.
Really? It's
with Krasinski, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So if you make any kind of noise in that movie, the monsters come out and eat you. Frank would be killed in the first minute of that movie because as soon as he talks, everything starts going haywire. There's noise everywhere.
I don't know.
Frank,
there's a disturbance in the force, man. I don't know. I apologize.
Frank, the good news is the gardener is left, so you should be okay.
Okay, the 5 can't lose. Let's move on to
what did you do to that guy, Frank? Seriously, like he had something against you, like
You're trying to sabotage my
vendetta. Not a fan of double trouble. Seriously.
Skip was like, "I'll give you $20 to start that thing up every time the guy in the glasses talks." The other guy in the glasses was like, "All right." I thought he had a chainsaw or a lightsaber or what was going on out there. But
no, just the famous blower. The blowers, they follow me everywhere. Whether they're blowing grass or tickets or whatever.
Let's clip that for a soundbite right there, huh?
No, I didn't mean it.
The blowers follow him everywhere.
Sorry, that didn't sound real good. Whether they're blowing tickets or grass.
Going down quick here.
Yeah. Well, anyways, on to the next.
George singled the 5. So let's see. Let's move on to race 7. I think we'll start with you, Gino. We're going a mile on the dirt here. Maiden 12-5ers here. Field of 8. What are your thoughts?
And what's tough, the 4, Bitter Truth, is going to be the heavy favorite. I think a lot of people are going to single this horse. And on paper, she looks pretty good. And you're watching her races, and it's tough because the last 2 races in a row, it's not as if she's run poorly, but both of those races, she looked like she was going to win. Like she loomed up, and it's like, oh, and even Frank kind of gives her a call like she's going to win. And then she just like flattens out a little bit. And maybe she wants to go a little bit longer, right? Maybe she just is kind of a little grindy and going longer. She'll be in a good spot and she'll just kind of sustain that a little bit. I think that's all possible. The horse who I'm going to use along with her that could be a little outside the box is the 6, Southern Rith. This horse is just kind of like an old school angle sort of horse. 2 sprints to a route for this horse. This is got a little bit more speed than it might look like on paper for this one. That debut race, this horse had a brutal start and actually really closed well. See, she was 15 lengths behind and she could have just stopped, but she ended up finishing only beaten like 7 lengths. So she made up a ton of ground after a horrendous start there. And so then you're kind of watching her going into her second race. And the second race, again, a little bit slower start, but it was better. And she was chasing a lone speed horse sprinting that day. If she can get out of the gate, she hasn't been beat over and over like the rest of this field. There's a little bit something there. She came right out of that next race, and she has worked very steadily since then, like clockwork down at San Luis Rey. There's not much in this field, and the 4 might just jog. The 6 is one of those horses that could really separate you if you could get a horse like this home at double digits that just doesn't have a whole lot on paper to go off of. I'm going to use the 4 and the 6 in here, Bitter Truth and Southern Rith.
All right. It is interesting last time out that, she added blinkers and Mike Smith chose.
She got action.
Very wisely.
5-1 last time.
Jumped on there, right, for a maiden 20 horse. So, yeah, interesting points there. Skipper?
I'm betting the 4. I know what Gino said. It looks like it's going to win, blow by these horses, and it just doesn't seem to. But I don't know. I just think that she is so much better than what she's going against in here. And I love the added distance because she kind of looks like a plotter to me, a distance horse, where they don't have that turn of foot or anything. They just keep coming and wear you down and grind you down. That's what I see. I'm singling the 4 here. I think the added distance is going to do it a world of good and it'd be perfect for it.
All right. So Skip is singling the 4 at, it's going to be a short price, odds on. Georgie, another single.
The 4.
4.
The
That's
Bitter
George.
Truth. I think the only runner that can beat him is maybe the 5. If she can run back to some of her maiden special weight, I might use both of those in my ticket. But I mean, the 4 looks like a slam dunk, but I might use the 5. But 4 is a single. The 5, the 6. Yeah, Mike Smith got up last time, but he immediately got off this time. So I don't like the 6. I don't want to talk you out of them, but. 4 and maybe the 5, but the 4 is probably going to be singling. This ticket is not going to cost me a lot.
The way George did the gross, they're like, oh, you got it.
No, I'm not touching that horse again.
Wow. Yeah. So 4 is an A for George, 5 is a B. And before Skip, can you bring in call the pen to the leaf blower before we?
Let me see if he's still out here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you leave the tip on the windowsill, Skip? Leave the tip there on the.
Oh my goodness!
Let it fly, Frankie.
Frankie should be good.
I mean, Bitter Truth is obviously the one to beat. Again, though, even money on a horse who has never been around 2 turns, trying something new for the first time. And also beaten at short odds multiple times at this very, very low level. So while I do
her dam's never her dam won at 6.5, Lone Sib all sprinting. So there's not even like stuff to look at in the pedigree going along. She just looks a lot better on paper, but gosh, she's kind of easy to poke holes in for a favorite,
Yeah, and to Gino's point, I thought you said something really interesting in the start the ride race where it's like, okay, yeah, everybody can see this horse, but what about separate that horse from the rest of the field. Now let me look at it and see who is the best of the rest to use. And to your point there, I came up with number 6 Southern Riff as well. I just think this horse is super, super sneaky. Look, how does Monty Meyer, a NorCal guy with very little stock. Not that he's a bad trainer, but very little stock, not a lot of flashy horses. Gets Mike Smith to ride his horse after a 11th place finish in a Calbred Maiden 20. Like, I think he probably said, give the horse a spin. Next time we're going to stretch the horse out and we're going to win on the drop. So to George's point, I get it. Smith doesn't ride back for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't care. But at 12-1, probably more like 20-1. Second blinker, stretching out, going to be closer to the pace. Excuses for both of those races. There's not much else in here. Maybe the 7. George mentioned the 5. Those would be the others. But I think Southern Riff has massive upshot potential in here. So that's it. Those 2 horses for me. And
all right.
Hopefully number 6 Southern Riff.
We actually heard you this time, so that worked in case
wow.
The leaf blower was gone. So maybe that we got a price there. The couple pushes on the 6.
Chappie, can I ask you about a horse in the last race?
Yes.
Your old. Do you remember the number 5? Your old friend, Butterfly Beach. This is a horse that you played. See, I remember the weird stuff too, kind of like Frank. You played this horse for Drysdale first time out of the box, which was like bizarre. And this horse, look at their line. It just said trouble trip, right? Yeah. This horse had one of the more brutal trips you'll ever see. And then in her second start, she got bet down to favoritism off of that trip. And they put her right into the race. She was sitting second early. She's traveling well. And then like something goes wrong because she backs up. She's out of it for a few months. And then you can see like they kept putting her on the lead. She's got some issues, right? She's never been able to like string races together, but she was a horse that you played and we look back at and we were trying to play a couple times early in her career. And I think we all just jumped off after a few times, but she's in an interesting spot here because there isn't that much. And she's now going to go second start back off of a long layoff. She had some legitimate trouble. Like, horses like this have some talent in there. You almost want to wait till they're going to be the right price to play again. Right. And now she's been big prices in her last few in weird, tougher spots. This is a good spot if she's 5-1, second start back. And she's another one, just like Skip was pointing out earlier with that other horse. Look at all of her races down on the inside where she's kind of got forced into the race. And now she's into the middle of the field. So she has an opportunity here to sit more mid pack. She's just one I remember from really early on because always have like the radar about some of these horses that we play and get in trouble. She's going to be in the mix for me. I think she finally found a good spot here.
And she actually has her 6th different rider in 6 races, which is almost impossible. But
yep,
that's kind of bizarre. But all right, push there for the 5 from Gino. Skipper, your thoughts in the final leg?
On my pick 6 ticket, I'm going to single the 7, Jenny's Wine Girl. This horse ran really, really good last time. It fought back, ran really gamely. I love the cutback in distance, dropping down in class. 7 should win the race. I'm going to single it on the pick 6 ticket, but I'm going to mention a couple others because I'm going to come back and play a pick 5 a little bit different than how I'm going to play the pick 6. Butterfly Beach is one of the ones that I was going to mention that Gino just talked about. And Chappie, yeah, that first race, breaking from the rail, you said Drysdale never wins first time out, but I'm going to bet this horse anyways, and ran really good. I'm going to come back. Harmeo jumps aboard this one. Now, not on the pick 6 because the ticket's too much, but the pick 5. And then I'll just mention the 6. I'm going to use this one on my late pick 5 and the 8. So on the pick 6, I'm singling the 7. The pick 5, I'm going to go 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right. Who do we appreciate? Georgie. What are your thoughts here? You got another single?
Yeah, another single. And in my pick 5, I think in what is it, race number 7, I might use all in that race because the bitter truth is either going to win or like you said, you can't. So I'm going to back myself up by doing all there and putting my other singles everywhere. But I mean, I just can't see the 7 Jenny's Wine Girl losing. It has the best thoroughgraph numbers by far. It's got a great jockey the Candyman, who loves, to run speedsters. And so he's got a speedster here. Nobody's even close on thoroughgraph numbers except maybe Butterfly Beach. But Neil Drysdale, he just doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't win races. I know they say he wins races.
He's never won a race.
I mean, he's won races.
Hall of Fame trainer.
But, I don't see him winning too much. I saw him at one time. This has nothing to do with the pick 6. I was in the cafeteria, and he was in front of me, and he goes to the guy with that accent that he goes, "Can I have a fish on a plate?" And the guy's like, "What?" And he goes, "Take a fish, put it on a plate, and then I'm going to eat it. Just a fish on a plate." I was like, okay, what the heck? I have a fish on a plate. Where else would you put the fish? Anyway, I'm not betting Neil Drysdale. I'm signaling number 7, Jenny's Wine Girl.
Okay.
Story. I love you, George. One of the greatest trainers in the history of the sport. And that's the best thing you can say about him. Fish on a plate.
Like, that's why. I like how he said it after, like, that's why I'm not betting Neil Drysdale. Because he said
fish on a plate. I can't bet that guy.
I can't do it.
George, I dare you to buy a horse and name it Fish on a Plate.
That's a great name for a horse. It really is. It really is.
Frankie boy, what do you think here? Last leg.
Well, I like that Fish on a Plate story. So I think number 5, Butterfly Beach, has a huge shot. Obviously, yes, Jenny's Wine Girl is the one to beat. Speed routing, cutting back, just has run good enough to clear this condition already. Has been a little unlucky. But yeah, the sneaky horse absolutely is the 5. Not to rub salt in the wound or you guys who bet the horse in the debut, but I also have a note. Blocked on the turn, into the stretch, galloped out well, super debut. Then you can go ahead and make excuses for every one of those other races. Maybe the horse has a little bit of a physical problem, so Neil drops the horse in for 50 last June. No good, disappears. Okay. That last race, keep in mind, was against Open 50. These are Calbred 50s, right? Let me just double check the condition. Big difference between Open 50s, Calbred 50s. That was clearly just a prep race. I think the 5 is the sneaky horse. Skip said coming back and playing the pick 5, and maybe if you get knocked out of the pick 6, whatever. DoubleTroubleLive.com. We cover the low takeout, retail player-friendly wagers. 15%, $3 all turf, $3 late pick 3, $5 double. The second half of the card gives us plenty of options to pivot if we're out of a sequence, or if a sequence was too expensive and we had to trim. Now we can come back and use horses that we may not have been able to afford in other sequences. So just from a general wagering strategy, I just want to throw that out there because, ticket construction and wagering strategy is of utmost importance when you're playing, sequences like this, especially when it's a $2 minimum for the pick six.
And you and George are hitting it. One of these big favorites is not going to win. Right. There are going to be a lot of short favorites here.
Yes.
Which one we don't know, right? It's unlikely that all of them are going to chalk out all the way. And if you can beat one of them, even in one of these late exotic races, like in this last race, if you can beat Jenny's Wine Girl, who I do agree, she's certainly the horse to beat. We mentioned the 5, like the 2 and the 6 are kind of interesting first-time starters that maybe if you were looking for a price. The 2, Chef Kate, one of 5 siblings that won on the turf. And this horse, actually, the barn, Serin, won with a horse just like this, 6 furlongs on the turf back in March with the first-time starter at Santa Anita. Steve Knapp won with the horse just like the 6. Isle of Angels, a maiden 50 going 6 furlongs on the turf, just like that. So those barns can win with first-timers like that. There'll be big prices. Maybe this is the race you don't like the favorite. Maybe it's Bitter Truth. But one of these races, the horse is going to be 3 to 5 and isn't going to really fire. You just got to be right about that race.
Right.
Yep. No doubt.
I think Bitter Truth is probably the most logical favorite that can be beat. I think Bitter Truth doesn't have any class. Doesn't. I mean, there's a lot of negatives to Bitter Truth. He's probably the most vulnerable of those 3 favorites. But, I'm certainly not going to bet Fish on a Plate. Okay,
I'll never be able to not think that when I see Niels Drysdale's name now. All the great through the years, all the big wins, great turf horses, and I'm just going to be thinking Fish on a Plate.
Yeah, how he says with that accent of his.
Yeah,
that accent. You're not going to be thinking AP Indy or nothing like that. But you're going to be thinking Fish on a Plate.
On a plate. Georgie, will they be serving fish on a plate at the Folds of Honor?
I know the caterer. I'm gonna ask specifically for Fish on a Plate.
At least the DoorDash for sure.
Maybe on Mother's Day. Oh, happy Mother's Day. I'm not gonna be on any more shows until next week. So happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there coming up Sunday.
Georgie, tell everybody real quick about, we got a lot more people on now, about Folds of Honor coming up on May 25th.
I love Folds of Honor. It's one of my favorite events here. You get a T-shirt you can get, and there's like bounties on the jockeys. If you knock out a jockey, you get a prize. If you knock out a trainer, you get a prize. There's going to be splash pots. It's so much fun, and all you can eat. We're going to have great, food. All you can eat. Drinks are going to be available as well. It's just a fantastic $150, and you only have the time of your life. And we're benefiting a tremendous cause in Folds of Honor. So we hope to see you on Memorial Day.
Poker tournament right after the last race, and all the proceeds go to the Folds of Honor. We have a blast every year. So, all right, gentlemen, thank you so much. And besides Georgie, who is now turning the last light off, the rest of us will see you again tomorrow, 15 minutes after the last race, to preview Saturday's show. So thank you, gentlemen. We'll talk again tomorrow. Everybody, good luck at the Pick Six. Thanks, guys.
Good luck, everyone.
Good night.